Disclaimer. This video is made for entertainment purpose only, it doesn't mean to hurt anyone, and don't take it seriously.
That background?
Terrible background. Yours looks again, your face.
Can't do anything. That's a mutant.
All right, me
face thing.
Me podcast, you listen. I actually saw a movie at the same time that MC saw a movie.
What's about?
I saw it yesterday.
All right.
And you see my Bruce Lee poster back there?
I do. And
Check
you said
out
before
Bruce
Bo Jackson
Lee.
jersey.
Yeah, baby.
Is that what you traded? You said you traded for that.
Traded a
Jackson
soundboard for a $250 jersey with a signature on it. It's got a signature and it's got authentic little silver thing on the side. So
can't see where it's signed. Is it on the 4? Or did he sign it?
Yeah, he signed it on the 4.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't know if you can zoom in on that. I don't know.
I don't want to try because I'll probably knock the damn thing
blow. It took me a while to hang that picture frame. So, anyways, so we are reviewing Deadpool versus Wolverine just to discuss. I'm a Wolverine fan, not a Hugh Jackman fan. I think he's a good character for Wolverine. I do have to admit that the movie itself, not really following the Loki thing. I'm gonna rely on comic book connoisseur MC to tell me what the hell's going on. But there's like a line that everybody's on, and it's kind of coming from the Loki. I'm assuming it's the Loki series that talked about this because the lady was in it, and I guess.
Are you talking about the former pruning security from the TVA? Because she was in it.
Yeah,
talking about
she
her,
was
right?
in it. Yeah, so there was quite a few. So discussing this line that everybody's on, and they get rid of their universe and do another thing. I just assumed that this is all connected somehow. And one thing I would say about this movie is sarcasm is to over 10 plus. The sarcasm from Ryan Reynolds and the amount of references to real named characters and Fox and you name it just seems to be over the top in this movie. And I think that it's a cool movie, very bloody. I had to sit next to a 3-year-old and his family while watching this.
No way.
Yeah.
I had a family next to me that had 2 like smaller kids. I don't know if they were quite that young. They were close. And I'm like, who the hell would take their kid?
Yeah.
The amount of vulgarity and perverse humor and
amount
gore,
of cussing. Just the amount of cussing. And I thought it was
really like insane. I was at the top of the last row, and they were
the couple
snuggled
young? Was the couple young?
They could have been in their 30s, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know, because one had a big beard. I was like, fuck, you should know better than that.
I just assumed that they just didn't know where else to put their kid. So the kid luckily fell asleep like halfway through, but before he was like, mommy, 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 mommy. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me, man. So
I knew these kids were awake. I could hear them rustling around. Like there was one seat separating me from where they started. It was one of those half rows, and I was like, man, like, but you might be right. Maybe they were just counting on them falling asleep.
There was no amount of popcorn that could keep these kids busy. So updates on this movie. This movie has made records of $205 million already. It's already, they call it pulverizing records of the release. You figured it would, with the amount of cameos that are in this. I mean, they brought back
these are heavy spoilers. So obviously, if you've not seen this film, you probably shouldn't be watching this episode.
They brought back what's her name with the
Elektra.
They brought
Blade.
I don't like Gambit. I don't like him being Gambit. I don't think that's a good character for him.
Yeah, he kept making side jokes of or people who've never been, like saying like, where the hell did you come from then if you've never had a story? So he was almost making fun of the fact that he never had a movie as Gambit. And then they had X-23 from Logan, and Blade was the other fourth member of the Resistance. Maybe
Blade I thought was phony. I didn't think that was really Wesley Snipes. He actually
didn't think I was Wesley.
Yeah. Well, when he started talking, I knew it was him. But I thought this has got to be unreal. This dude looks good.
Did you like the Chris Evans Human Torch?
That was funny. That was pretty funny.
And you've seen the end, right? You stayed for the after credits.
The very, very end.
Yeah, the very.
No, I didn't. I thought it was it. No.
Oh shit. So at the end, I mean, they have a Green Day blooper reel from all the Fox movies. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But at the very end, Deadpool comes back out and I'm like, I'm going to prove to you, motherfucker, you know, like, well, whatever. He plays the tape. I don't know where the hell he is in a control room. And it rewinds and it shows them capture, you know, on their way to basically Cassandra Nova. And he's just fucking ripping her. And it's all Johnny Human Torch saying all the same shit that Deadpool said he said. So it's pretty funny. He's like validates. I didn't get him. Just so you motherfuckers know, I didn't get him killed.
That was pretty funny though. It was pretty funny though. Hugh Jackman said, "You just got him killed." God damn everything it was, and we're all.
So it turns out he really said it at the very end of the credits. Yeah, you should have stayed for that. It was funny.
And we're all grieving. That's the part was so funny. So I mean, overall, what was the reference regarding the outfit? Is it because it's the original X-Men outfit? Is that why they keep talking about the costume that he's wearing, or
because it's very close. It's very close to the one, you know, once he gets rid of the sleeves, obviously. It's very close to the cartoon X-Men. And in his early appearances, he had the yellow costume, and then eventually he went to the brown one that a lot of people know from the 80s comics and stuff, which I kind of grew up with. But in the 90s cartoon, he was wearing this one, so I'm okay with that.
Did you like his mask?
Yeah, I mean, everybody I talk to, save for one friend who I works at a different store than me now. For some reason, he hated it. He didn't like the eyes. And he said, I guess that means Batman wouldn't look good too. And I disagreed. I told him I respectfully disagree. I think it looked great. To me, it was just cool to see him with the hood down. You never got a chance to see that or this outfit at all. So best Wolverine movie of them all, obviously. I mean, not that it was really hard to top. Though, I mean, Logan was highly regarded, but I mean, for me, it blew Logan away just because you knew he was dying and whatever shit they were doing to him in that film.
Did you laugh at the part when they found him? I thought it was funny in the beginning when he digging him up and he's like,
kill spree with his own skeleton.
You look very dead or whatever.
And then he just proceeds to fucking murder the hell out of the TVA with his fucking adamantium skeleton. Set to bye apparently from NSYNC. So that was pretty damn funny.
So I guess my whole thing on the movie was I thought it was very bloody, which Deadpool is anyways, and to tie it in with Wolverine, there was lots of cussing, which kind of takes away from it kind of drawed back to the Logan.
Heavy cussing. I mean, they're really heavy cussing. They're really
when they went to Logan, when they tried to make Logan the Wolverine series at the very end when he died, they made that one very dark, kind of the rated R version, which is what people wanted to see. This with Elektra, I don't know, but in Gambit, I thought it was cool. They brought back the original little girl from the Wolverine Logan movie. That was cool.
Yeah.
She's definitely gotten bigger.
A little older.
I thought
that scene was cool. How they kind of showed. You've seen it in the trailer. She said, "Until you're not, until you weren't," and then then they showed it. You know, in retrospect, you know, they didn't show an answer right away. And obviously, you know, he's going to join him. But like when he comes out of the car, that was pretty badass. So
when he comes out of the van,
the
minivan,
when they're storming headquarters. Did you like Good Pool?
No,
Or
that was
nice
pretty.
or
That was,
nice pool? I'm
dude,
sorry,
I
nice
laughed.
pool.
I laughed my ass off when he used him as a human shield.
Like use your healing power. You don't have any healing power.
Yeah, it
Dude.
goes regenerate.
Just died.
What's regenerate? I like the funny. He goes, I think I got hit, and he's all bleeding. And then he's like, "You just regenerate. What's regenerate?" And then they drags him out again, and he's holding him up. He's just getting shot.
Yeah, then he comforts him as he's dying.
Why'd you stop? Then his head gets blown off. That part was funny as hell. The dog was kind of stupid, but
Yeah,
but that part when he was when he was using him as a shield, I couldn't stop laughing about that part of the movie because I laughed my ass off. Where he's just holding him up. He's like, you you used him as a shield, or whatever Wolverine says to him.
I thought he could regenerate.
That part was so
what
funny.
Deadpool can't regenerate?
Just regenerate. Let's regenerate. Then I thought it was funny the part where he goes back to find the Wolverine that he wants. And the first one is that little short, squatty one.
Yeah,
that was
comic
funny
accurate one. Yeah,
that was funny as shit. When he
that
jumps off the
was
stool.
pretty good. That whole montage was pretty badass. They showed the flashback to the X-Men comic where he's basically crucified on the X, and then he's fighting Hulk with the claws. They have Hulk's reflection. That was a homage to his first appearance in there, and he's in the brown costume there. And Henry Cavill makes a guest appearance. There's a lot of people clamoring for him to be Wolverine.
Is that who that was?
After
Dude,
being
was
Superman.
jacked.
Yeah,
that guy really jacked like that.
That was Superman from DC.
Oh,
yeah.
I was trying to wonder who that guy was.
That's why he was making a crack, obviously, when he was narrating, like Cavalry or whatever he called him. But
I was disappointed there wasn't a saber-tooth fight. That part was kind of sad, where he just cuts his head off right away.
Yeah,
that was kind of fucked up. I thought the fight scene was pretty good in the car. Now go back to our car jitsu.
They did car jitsu there.
They fought in that van. That was a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
The first fight was kind of lame. Like, it wasn't really as exciting as you thought it was.
They're just kind of stabbing each other, weren't they?
Yeah. And I thought it was funny when he said, "Get your socks ready, you nerds," or whatever it is, when he's got, "Let's fight." And then he everybody's waiting for this, and it was kind of lame. That's why I'm glad they fought later. They fought later in the van.
Yeah.
That part I thought was pretty good. But overall, I thought the movie was decent. I thought it was it's definitely a go see movie in the movie theater. I don't think I'd wait for this to come out on Disney. I think I would just go see this in the theater. Did you see it in the Cine Capri, or did you see it in the regular theater?
I seen it it was a slightly smaller screen. I had a lot of choices of where to see it. And there was a lot of seats available when it was, so there must have been just so many showings at the Cinemark is where I went to.
There was a crap load for us too.
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't have any trouble once I decided the time I wanted to see it. I could have seen it on the Thursday afternoon. I think the showing started at 3 p.m. here, but I waited the next day. Nothing was really spoiled that wasn't heavily rumored before. There was something about the Hulk being the Ed Norton version, and I mean, it's hard to tell. You're looking over his shoulder, and then I think Cavill maybe was revealed. Like, it was stuff that I had already heard that was possibly in the film. The X-Men didn't show up. That was rumored to happen and not. But yeah, I mean, I seen it. It was a smaller screen, but it was less people to start yapping and stuff. And like I said, I was in kind of a half row at the very top, and I was just flabbergasted at the family next to me. But I mean, it was fine. Yeah, I mean, but it was fine. I mean, there wasn't people really screaming around, and it was just, there was people laughing. I mean, I was laughing too at a lot of parts.
Dude, I was laughing. Do you think that this kind of ruins it, that he died and then they brought him back?
No,
'Cause,
because it's all multiverse stuff. That's what I was trying to explain to my niece, and when she was wondering how, this is a spoiler reveal too now that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to play Doctor Doom in the next Avengers.
I was going to ask you
Well,
about that one.
yeah, it's a variant. So this is a variant Wolverine. So they were very specific to tell you, like, that's why he goes to get Logan, knowing, hey, well, he's dead, but I don't think he's dead. And then it's revealed he really is dead. So they were very careful to show you that Logan did happen in this universe, and I didn't even know that would happen in Deadpool's universe because it felt like that was further in the future, and then Deadpool was the present. But apparently, it's the same time. But they were carefully told you he's dead, he's in the grave, and then they desecrated him with the skeleton. But they showed you he was dead, and they made it very clear this was the quote unquote worst Wolverine who failed his X-Men team. It failed the world because he basically slaughtered, humans, more humans than even attacked the X-Men, and it basically he was the most hated man on his earth. So that's something they made it very, point of to tell you. And yeah, I thought it was pretty clear. I mean, if you seen Loki, you understood multiverse stuff. If you understand that he was bouncing around time with the dial he was doing at the end of 2, and and how he was looking for the Wolverines, you understand that he's time jumping, multiverse jumping. And I don't know how, if they didn't really explain that well, maybe they were thinking the geeks would fill the other people in, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty straightforward. He's a variant Wolverine, and he ended up doing exactly like we said. We're spoiling it, but him and Deadpool ended up saving that universe, so he ended up basically staying in that quote unquote world. So he becomes their Wolverine.
Excuse me,
but they're not going to really have a Fox universe unless it merges from Secret Wars into the current MCU. So I don't really know if we'll see him as Wolverine again, but
well, let's
we know he's alive.
As he said,
now.
for till he's 99 is what he said.
So
it's
going to be in Secret Wars, I think.
So let's read this entertainment review of some of these movies. A few critics are enthusiastic in the praise of the film. Dominic from Seattle Times, for instance, calls the ultimate love letter to Marvel fans. Yeah.
To the love letter to the Fox universe. Yeah.
And then New York Post says it gives the MCU new hope and is the best in the sprawling cinematic universe since Spider-Man No Way Home 3 years ago. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really consider this I mean, it is, but it isn't. It still feels like it takes place majority in the Fox universe. So what I feel like this is the bookend to the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Fox-owned Marvel universe. So I believe that this felt like the definitive end to it. Now, if they bring him into Secret Wars, because that's like a multiverse battle royal of all these different versions of characters, if they bring him and Wolverine back, maybe they do, and you see him, and then they kind of explain it. But they went back to Deadpool's world, which is not, it's Earth like 1005, I think is what they called it. The Earth 616 is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they don't end in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this is still very much tied to that, and especially since it's under the Marvel Studios, but it's still not an MCU movie. It is, but it isn't. It felt like a definitive end to the Fox version of these Marvel characters.
So
that's how I feel.
Matt from RogerEbert.com says that he wished the movie were more coherent and consistent, but I kind of don't care about the characters.
We kind of don't care about your opinion, Matt.
New York Times describes it as New York Times Elisa describes as rude and irrelevant, funny and disgusting, weird and a little sweet. Probably could say that. The Irish Times.
Yeah, I mean, what
is that? Irish Times.
What was that supposed to be? The cool review? Can't really say I like it, but can't say I hate it.
The Irish Times. The Irish Times from Donald Clark says infantile mugging. Whatever the fuck that means. And Dylan Roth from The Observer says a parade of crowd-pleasing pops, and particularly no substance, guaranteeing $1 billion return and a shelf life of about 5 minutes. You can't please everyone. Not very good.
I mean, what would you say that you would? This movie has definite rewatchability, so
I
see
would
this
watch
again.
it again.
Yeah,
I would watch it
I'd
again.
watch it again when it's streamed.
I thought it had. So you're combining Wolverine and Deadpool together, and you're combining, to me, sarcasm and anger together in this movie. And it had parts where it was dragging on. There was too much dialogue and not enough action. This movie started off action. He started off killing everybody. He started off killing everybody with Wolverine's bones. He tried to paint the picture back and forth. He's narrating a lot. He's saying the character's real name sometimes, and he's saying their stage name, and then he's saying, making fun of Fox. I mean, he's just going all over the place. So I could get it where it gets kind of like, what the fuck we talking about? But when it got into the middle of the movie, and then we realized we were getting into Wolverine's character and how he felt guilty, and we were getting back to his past, and then all of a sudden Deadpool's kind of trying to be funny, but then he's also trying to be serious, and there's just so much talking. And then we get to the final part where he said he gets out of the van. That part I thought was after the fight in the van, then they get the little campfire talks and all this shit. Kind of dragged on. Felt like we were dragging on, trying to build the story to where it started off like it was going to be an action-packed movie. Then it got into a storyline. Then it had to go down the whole road of, for people like you and people that watch it and know the whole backstory, had to get into it. And then we got to the end. I thought there was some cameos, which were cool, but they didn't last very long. I really didn't understand the whole Elektra, Blade, and Gambit situation. Because again, these are all non-irrelevant to me. All of a sudden, why are they in?
It was explained. So basically, their worlds were going to be destroyed by his, whatchamacallit, forget the name of the device, but the Time Ripper, I think was it called. So basically, they explained they were the lead heroes of their universes, and that basically he pruned them out to make it easier to rip their universe and world. Now I don't know if he did succeed in, and I can't remember that because I'd have to see it again. He might have. He might have succeeded because, again, this is a love letter to the Fox unit. None of them are going to be in, obviously, the MCU as we know it now. So it was basically the end of all the Fox owned and all these other type of properties. So they figured whoever wanted to come back, and Deadpool, as he narrates, it says, I think he made a crack of how expensive their cameo was. Maybe Chris Evans, he may have said after he was killed anyways. Mm-hmm. But he said basically, they're there. They're the champions of their universes that were either pruned or he took them out and he was going to, destroy their world. So I can't remember if he was going to or he did, but they're basically the rejects of their universes, like lone survivors or whatnot. Everybody who's pruned goes to that, the wasteland that's, the end of time where Eliath devours them, basically, unless you're in league with Cassandra Nova. You're basically her slave or servant, and you have to do her bidding. So basically, they're the resistance to that. They're the leftover heroes. They weren't the villains, so they didn't join up with Cassandra Nova. So essentially, they were the resistance. And you thought at one point it was going to be the Deadpool Corps, but it turns out the Deadpool Corps were just kind of loners, and they ended up, I think, working for her anyways. Or at least they were going to when they had, in that battle royal where they attacked. And that was cool, where Wolverine and Deadpool were battling all these variants of Deadpool. But the point of them was just kind of fan service, maybe to show whoever they could get to come back, like Jennifer Garner's Elektra, Wesley Snipes.
Here's the cameos. Cameos was Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Yeah. And they teased it like he was Cap, which was pretty funny.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Wesley Snipes. Channing Tatum.
Tatum was almost Gambit in a movie, so that's kind of why they put him in there. He was supposed to have his own movie as Gambit, and this was basically,
He was terrible at it.
A universe that never
his
did.
voice sucked
Yeah,
at it. He was not.
I mean,
he's not Gambit.
He looked like a jacked up Gambit. Anyways.
Yeah, he looked like his head barely
totally
fit in that little suit he had.
Yeah.
He looked kind of like the head dude from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where that guy is like Hetzel. Aaron Stanford as Pyro.
From
Tyler
the X-Men movies.
Tyler Maine as Sabretooth. Blake Lively as Ladypool.
So she was her voice. I don't know if she was in the suit or whatnot. I mean, she probably was, but
the Reynolds children in various roles.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah, they foul-mouthed Kidpool is played by Inez, and their youngest Olin is Babypool.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
John Favreau as Happy Hogan. That part was pretty funny. Henry Cavill as Wolverine's variant.
Wolverine.
Matthew McConaughey was in it as
he was the Western,
Cowboy Pool.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion as Headpool. That was that skeleton dude, huh?
Interesting. Yeah. Nathan is going to be
Defon Keen as X23. I don't know what that was. What's X23?
Oh, that's the female who was the Wolverine.
Laura
X23.
Rob McElhenney as TVA Soldier. Peggy as
Rob McElhenney, the guy from
McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Always Sunny and Wrexham or whatever.
He was credited as an unnamed soldier in the TVA.
Interesting.
And then Peggy as Dogpool.
Peggy. What was your favorite part of this? What was your favorite? What would you say is your favorite part of the movie?
Dude, when he was using that happy whatever good pull whatever as the shield was the fucking
that was the funniest part.
I love the van fight. All I kept thinking was the what do you call it? The Karjitsu. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that he had his little long-haired self as one of his characters. I did think the sarcasm got a little old. I don't know. It was like constantly sarcastic. I do think it was a good fit between him and Hugh Jackman arguing with each other because Hugh Jackman was cool. I do think the part at the end when they had to unite to fight, whatever, to get the connection, that was pretty cool. I would say it was good from once that they went to the other universe and started fighting. I think that's when the movie got interesting. But like I said, it kind of dragged on the talking, but I think that was just trying to build a dialogue. But
yeah, the story was pretty...
I wanted to see more fighting. You know, I like the fighting part because I think that they did a good job making the fighting. I thought it was cool when they fought all the Deadpools. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites, along with the Wolverine montage where he was trying to grab all of them. And
but funny.
Yeah, she was pretty freaky. How she was just kind of fingering their mind. Yeah, that was pretty creepy and stuff. I think she was a pretty cool villain.
She did a good job.
Yeah. I was very impressed. And I knew very little of her. I obviously researched her because I knew she was the villain in the film. The unborn twin of Professor X.
Yeah.
Who got strangled in the womb when she tried to kill him, I guess.
She wasn't in the movie. She's not in a whole bunch of movies, but she played a freaking good character in this movie. I thought Blade. I thought the part where they came back. I'm a Blade fan too, so when I saw Blade, at first I thought it was phony, like it wasn't going to last very long. But then when he was there, I thought that was cool. I thought Wesley Snipes' character coming back as Blade was cool, especially when he says there's only one blade when he pulls out the little bazooka to shoot him. Yeah,
but and because that was a crack at them trying to make a new Blade movie that keeps getting derailed. So he kind of did a little tongue-in-cheek thing on that.
The Blade, all of them except when he has Triple H in it.
Triple H with the fangs.
Is that Blade 3?
That's 3, yeah.
Because Blade 1 and 2 were good. I liked them. I thought those were great movies, especially Blade 1. Blade 1 was badass.
Yeah, I think that was dark. That was a pretty cool film.
But
yeah, and it's cool because you got the tie-in with Ryan Reynolds in that third movie. I forget which character he played again, but I think it was third, right?
So
He
let
wasn't
me.
in second one too, was he?
What? Ryan Reynolds?
Ron Reynolds was in the Blade franchise. I
He
don't
was
know
in
if it
the.
was.
He was in the third one.
He was just in the third one.
Yeah, that's when he was all
But-
jacked.
Yeah.
So it is funny how these connections, all these guys are still connected in the movies together, and how Ryan Reynolds has been in quite a few movies. I mean, he was in when he became his Deadpool when he had no mouth.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
That was Wolverine Origins. Yeah, they kind of really jacked up Deadpool in that. And the only real thing they kind of did was showed he was still alive after he's decapitated. But yeah, that wasn't Deadpool we knew. Obviously, it took a while
It almost
to get
feels
the Deadpool we knew.
it almost feels like in movies, like they try to create a X-Men, and for some reason they just fall short on making it the authentic version of what comic book fanatics want to see. And then they try to redo it again. It's like, I think this one, if I'm wrong, you can say I just don't know what I'm talking about, but I think this one hits it on the head. I think this was a good movie to see this type of combination. I think this will be cool if they continue to make movies like this, but the way movie makers go, they always fuck it up somehow and make it different. I thought it was.
The casting is huge. If you don't have a good casting or uniforms, people don't want to see them in leather outfits to look like the Matrix, whatever. You want to see them look like the cartoon or the comics you're in. And yeah, will it look a little ridiculous on screen sometimes, the certain outfits? Yes, but who gives a shit? It's not
watch
real.
We watch
it's a comic book film.
We watch Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, they wear the little costumes. We don't say anything.
Yeah,
so I got to ask you to go on that then. The Robert Downey Jr. being Doomsday. Yay.
Dr. Doom?
Yeah, Dr. Doom. Yay or nay?
The problem is, I mean, I think it's going to at least have 2 movies with him in it. The real Dr. Doom is Victor Von Doom, but in this version, he's a variant of him and Tony Stark. It's if Tony Stark went evil and became Dr. Doom instead of Iron Man, or if he went from Iron Man. That's what he's playing. The real, actual Dr. Doom. I don't know if they're going to introduce him or if now Robert Downey Jr. is just going to be him because he used to be Tony Stark. That's where it kind of gets a little convoluted. I was already asked the question from my niece, who was like, I'm supposed to believe that he died in this one. Now he's back. Like, she was all confused, and she had seen Loki season 1. She hadn't even seen Loki season 2 yet, but I was like, yeah, and I was trying to explain it. So this is what the multiverse is. And what all these movies are including variants and different types of versions of these characters. That's what Secret Wars or Avengers Doomsday is going to be, probably introducing it. And then I think the 5th or whatever is supposed to be Avengers Secret Wars, and that's a battle royal of all these multiverse versions. So
this is like Scientology. This is like there's a universe that you
is
were
that
a
what
part
Scientologists believe?
There are a universe that you were a part of at some point that's just like the universe you're in right now.
So Scientologists believe there's a multiverse of millions of different versions.
They believe that there's a chain that there's something similar to what we're a part of in another dimension. This is what we're getting taught through the Marvel comic books. Okay, so my next question, since you just kind of explained that, which doesn't really explain anything.
I mean,
Borderlands, you gonna go see that?
No. Never played the game and really have no interest in it.
That was a quick answer. You don't even want to see it. Doesn't look good.
Care. I mean, it could be.
Does it have any comic book relation at all, or is it just a game?
Not to my knowledge. I believe it's based off of I want to say it's based off of the video game, and that's it. I don't know of any comic book property.
I thought for some reason it was related to comic book. Last question, as we got 5 more minutes. Transformers. I saw the kiosk on the way to the theater. The big cartoon version of it. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Go.
So explain to me what you're saying again.
Transformers. The new Transformers is
So
coming
there's
out.
there's a new cartoon movie, or it's an actual live action again?
No, it's a new cartoon. You didn't see the big cardboard
No.
cutout of it? Really?
No, not in my theater. No,
There's a
I've heard rumblings of it, but no, I
so
didn't.
there's
I
a
haven't seen
new
trailer for it.
Transformers movie coming out, and I just saw the commercial for it. And I was curious what you thought, since you like the new X-Men 2000.
Oh, so this is a new animated series, basically.
So the new Transformers is called Transformer One. Transformer One is
that's got a different Optimus Prime voice, doesn't
the
it?
untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but once were friends, bonded like brothers who changed the fate of Cybertron forever.
So this takes place.
One.
This takes place in Cybertron,
I guess. But this is this is a cartoon animated version.
That's tough, though. Yeah, there's no Frank Welker's Megatron.
But I guess the way I look at it is, though, is do you like the vintage shit? Is this something that's going to excite people who like Transformers?
It might. There's millions of they haven't stopped with the Transformers toys, and people buy these still. Otherwise, they would just probably go on the wayside. So there's a very active community of these fans. So yeah, I mean, they just want, probably as long as they live, the voices of Optimus Prime and Megatron. You know, I know some of the people passed on. Chris Latta used to do Starscream and Cobra Commander.
Some of the characters are in it is Chris Hemsworth as Oron Pax. Scarlett Johansson's going to be in it. John Hamm is Centennial Prime. Steve Buscemi is going to be Starscream. And then Keegan Michael Kay will be B127. So there's some big names in this movie.
B127. Is that supposed to be Bumblebee?
I guess probably Bumblebee.
The hell, so I can't think of
scheduled to release in September.
The voice of Optimus Prime. What was his name? Frank Welker, I believe, is Megatron. I don't know why I'm blanking on the voice of Optimus Prime.
I don't know who would be Optimus Prime.
Shows his voice in there, does it? Well, he's not voicing it in the trailer I seen. If I'm thinking of the same thing,
I don't even see. It just says top cast, so it's not someone real famous. I guess. Let's see who
he would be, because he'd be the voice of
Optimus Prime is going to be Chris Hemsworth.
Well, so then it's obviously the original actor's for the first time ever. He won't be voicing Optimus Prime then.
I know.
I mean, he's got to be.
How's Chris Hemsworth?
He's got to be like 90 years old, though. I think he's been. I mean, thankfully he's still alive. I mean, he's still done his voice up until the last Transformers stuff they did.
Well,
he just won an award too.
Yeah,
I think too, like a Lifetime Achievement Award and stuff too.
Well, he didn't. He didn't get the job.
Well, I mean, if it's a long-term series, yeah, they probably don't know if he wants
You don't know if he's going to be alive. That's what you're trying to say. I get it. All right. Well, that was a review of Deadpool versus Wolverine. I guess that sums it all up.
3 stars for his claws or more?
I give it a thumbs up. Give it an 8. I think it's a good movie. You definitely want to go see it for the action. You definitely want to go see it for the fighting.
6 stars.
Do you give it a thumbs up?
Absolutely. It was a fun film. It's a love letter. Like I think the one guy said it. I said that too right after I seen it. It's a love letter to the Fox Marvel universe, which is dead now officially. I mean, Disney has the rights back to these characters, so this is kind of like a fitting end to those characters and universes.
Is that why they had it buried with the 20th Century Fox buried in the sand?
Yeah, a little tongue-in-cheek play on it. Yeah, it was good.
There was lots of tongue-in-cheek in this movie, and it gets annoying said times. So just get some popcorn. It is 2 hours long, so just sit back.
It's a fun movie,
but it's fun to watch, and it was definitely interesting. It does slow down a little bit, but you got to have a story. But the fighting was good, especially the van fighting scene, the car jitsu, Wolverine and Deadpool. All right,
can't believe we've agreed on a movie for once.
I thought it was good. I like Wolverine. Me podcast. You listen. Tune in when we watch Borderland, because I'm going to go see it, even though MC doesn't want to, because it looks cool. I think it looks good. So Make sure you tune, subscribe, and watch us. And then that's it.